Hello, how's it going today? It's Frank here, and I'm back with another movie review. Now, this is a movie that I've been meaning to watch for a while now because it stars one of my favorite actors in these sort of movies, that is Jason Statham. Now, watching at the start of this movie, I thought it was going to be good, but it turned out to be okay in some parts. Let me go through it. And the movie starts with like these, I think they're the drug cartel or something like that comes out their cars and they're looking for someone, and then they have I think it's the leader, the boss or whatever, and you see Jason Statham's character, his name's Arthur, in the swimming pool with this guy, and I think he sort of like strangles him or something like that to make it look like an accident. And all these guards just come out, and when they find that he's actually dead, all these guards come out trying to make it secure. And obviously, his character, he goes out and he goes back to his, to his place or whatever. And then he meets this guy in a wheelchair called Harry. And I think Harry's the one that talks to him about these sort of jobs. I don't know who he is. He's one of those type of like that helps him with the organisation of these kids. I don't know. It wasn't quite clear in his character. And then he tells him to actually meet him, downstairs because there's people in the building. But then Arthur just like shoots him basically. And he obviously, I think he's took a gun that belongs to him, or a gun had to do with something to do with his death. I think it's called something to do with preparation. And another one which I forgot what it said on the other side of the gun. And he meets this guy called Dean as well. This character is important. You'll find out towards the end of the movie. Now, watch the movie first, and then let me know what you think of it, and then watch my video afterwards. And yeah, so he meets this guy called Dean, and Dean is the guy that helps him, like, with these type of hitman type jobs, and he pays him for it. And I think he's like a businessman or something. Like he's a contract type of person that helps him with this sort of stuff, hooks him up. And Arthur gets help from a guy called Steve, or Steven. You're going to say it right, Steve. Um, Steve is like a carjacker, and he wants, he helps, he gets Steve to help out with some jobs. And Steve comes across like there's a scene of Steve like comes across as like guy that wants to rob the car, and then it's like that guy got what he deserved though, to be honest, because Arthur, not Arthur, Steven just attacks him, beats him up and stuff like that. And then when he was about to kill him, Arthur says, leave it, just go. He said the worst thing to do is make it like you have a motive for killing. I see partly what he means. So the first assignment that Arthur hooks him up with is some. I did want to look at this dude's name. I think he's some sort of like he's a gang member, some gang leader, and he trains with Steven on what to do, and especially weapons and how to communicate, how to do his jobs properly. And he said he wanted the job clean, so he tells him you got to roofie this gang member. So, in a bar, make it clean. This dude, right? If he wants to become a hitman, he messed up on this one. Not gonna, I would too as well, but I'm not gonna become a hitman. That's besides the point. Why did he not just do it at the bar? He looked nervous as hell, and you can obviously tell. Obviously, Arthur, Jason Statham has been doing these type of movies, right? So obviously, his main character is gonna survive and be better than him. But that was kind of sloppy, to be honest. This Steven guy, I don't know. Bit of a sloppy movie in terms of like that sort of part of like storyline stuff like that. That's besides the point. Let me carry on with it. And then Arthur tells him, whatever you do, don't get in his car. What's the dude gonna do? He gets in his car. Like of all things, that's the ending because there's no other way you can get him. It takes him to his place, and obviously, you know, yeah, I don't want to really say what these two dudes are going to do. It's quite explicit, but you see if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't seen it, you know what I mean. And then he begins to like attack him, and he tries attack him with different kinds of like objects and stuff like that. And it was kind of that's what I mean. Good fighting scene though, I can't lie. And this guy's bigger than him. Arthur told this dude to not pick on him because he's bigger than him. And then eventually he does kill him, but it was messy. They're all gonna pin it on him. Like this is what I mean. Things will come back to him. That was just even I would say that was very sloppy. Another explicit scene I do have to mention was when Arthur and Steve, or Steve, I'm going to say, I'm going to keep saying Steve and Steve for some reason. But when Arthur and Steve they see a dude in some sort of motel or something like that, or some sort of apartment, I don't know. And this guy, I think he paid him some money for something, and then Arthur just strangles him, hooks him onto the wall or whatever, then and then Arthur just puts on some, you know what, something explicit online to make it like it was autoerotic asphyxiation. God, damn, I don't know how I struggle with that. I'm usually good at saying this type of words. Yeah, but you know what I mean. That word basically. Pretty clever. Bit of mad right there. There's also other explicit scenes, but they're not the important parts of the movie, so I won't mention them. And he tells him to do another job where it's about this preacher dude that pretends he's seen God or something like that. And then goes, they go in and obviously one of the best parts of the movie after they try and make like this guy died from like being pumped with adrenaline. They go back into the wall like this after the mirror has like a passageway basically. Go in there and they made a bit of a noise which a tiny bit of screwing underground. And one of the VIP dudes said, "What the hell's going on here? Check it out." And after he moves the wall, Steve just shoots the dude in the head. And this is one of my favourite scenes in the movie. Bear that in mind, excuse me. Bear that in mind. Shoots him in and then they start fighting, all that type of stuff. And that was the best bit basically. All the gunshots firing from everywhere. It's that's how it should have been this movie. And there wasn't much of that, bear that in mind. That was like when it got to the last half of the movie, that's when it got interesting right there. And then it comes up to this one of the last parts where where he found out that Dean was the one that was setting him up the entire time. Because in one of the photos, it was a forensic photo of the dude, one of the dudes, a dude with glasses or something like that was shot in the head. But then Arthur sees this dude again walking for some sort of bus station or something like that. So, that's a good fight scene right there. But after this whole fight scene, when he starts, when, they had a, bit of an altercation there, he throws him out the bus window and the car runs him over. That was a good scene too, actually. That was a good fighting scene, right? They should have had more of that, to be honest. And then just Steve D was held hostage by these, I think Dean's employees are having to put it. And then Arthur says, "Oh, listen, look, there's a gun right there. Just reach out for it." And then Steve says, "I'm not left-handed. Just do it." Bang, bang, bang. Shoots all those dudes right there. That was a cool scene as well. And Dean, he calls up Dean and says, "Oh, look, you know, it's you messed around me. I know what your men are trying to do." And then he goes and says, "Oh, you can't find me." He says, "I already have." And boy, another fight scene. This is one of the best in the scene as well. And then the scenes where he's like, crashes a car into two other vehicles, rams them, and then, a bus comes in, which, Steve was driving, boom, crashes the car in. That's what made the film look a little bit better. Bang right into it, and then gets the guns out, bang, 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 bang everywhere. Like, oh my god, that was a good scene right there. I kind of like quite crazy and chaotic, which I like in these sort of movies. Action movies should always have them anyway. That's why it's called action for a reason. Bear that in mind as well, and and also another thing in this sort of movie, Steve also kind of picked up the gun. This is where it confused me because obviously in the movie the Steve guy's technically his apprentice. So I thought the only reason why Arthur chose him is because Steve knew the victim of, I think, was it Harry or something like that. So which kind of confused me. So as towards the ending, as the movie is near about to end, he sets him up by letting Arthur in his car. Jack is actually pumping in petrol, but he actually pumped into the wrong. He actually pumped into another part of the car on purpose. Shoots the shoots. I think it was a Jeep or something like that, and it explodes. Obviously, he didn't die because there was a mechanic resurrection. So, and his character never dies anyway. So he walks away, goes into well, I think it's his apartment, but technically Arthur gave it to him. I think that's where they both stay anyway. So it's I just call it Arthur's apartment or villa, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know what it's called. Goes in there and he thinks, okay, so everything's all good. Picks up some sort of some sort of record player, puts it on. That's also going to be important. And goes in the car that obviously he's been working for 2 years. Gets a letter saying if you're reading this, you're dead. So, bye or whatever. I think it says bye. And he starts laughing, and then the record player, I think something clicks to like an alarm, and then it connects the car, and the car just explodes. Same with the villa as well, if you want to say it. Boom. So that part confused me because I think Alfred did actually know, and he knew that this guy was kind of corrupt, and he knew that this guy, I wouldn't say corrupt, but he knew this guy was going to be out to get him. Once he found out, and he did, and this Steve guy did find out because he found a gun in like some shelf or something like that when they were about to leave. I think it was in the last when they were about to get this Dean dude. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, he found the gun and said, and he was like, oh, okay, because he was close to it, the Harry dude. I would assume it's Harry because that's one of the victims. I would assume so anyway. So yeah, that's the whole movie right there. I mean, I'm surprised I was going to talk a lot about this movie because there isn't really much action scenes in this movie, to be honest. So that was only action bits I mentioned, but the storyline was phenomenal as always. Dialogue phenomenal, acting phenomenal, was brilliant in the sort of movies. Has to be. Whenever Jason Statham's, there need to be serious actors into it too, and actresses as well, bear that in mind. So yeah, but I think there wasn't enough action. I think 3-4 scenes of action was not good enough. The Beekeeper had a lot more intensity and chaos and better like grit to it than this movie does. Um, yeah, I don't know. The odd movies he makes are good, but there needs to be a lot more action than that. So for this one, everything else was good apart from needing a bit more action in this one. This one's questionable, but I think this is fair. The Beekeeper I gave it a 10 because it was ongoing, continuous, a lot more tense. This one was like only the action scenes made up for it technically, and storyline. It felt quite short because there wasn't much happening. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. 8 is fair. 9 could have been a 9, but I'm gonna give this an 8, just because it needed more action. I feel like it could have deserved an 8 or a 9, but you know what? I don't know. Everything else was good. I might give this a 9. I'll be generous and give this a 9 because needing a bit more action, and it would have been a 10 out of 10 perfection. So everything else was good apart from just a little bit more action into it. So yeah, 9 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share everyone you know, subscribe, hit the notification below. So I'll see you in my next video.